Today we find ourselves in the heartland of Australia, the Outback. This is a land of exquisite beauty, wilderness, and greatness. While normally we'd be in search of great creatures such as the dingo, the kangaroo, and the chaswazzer, today we find ourselves searching for something much more dangerous than all of the creatures of the Outback combined. That creature? The great Volkanovski. When not demolishing his opponents in the UFC, the Volkanovski isolates himself and roams the Outback, as he is much too savage and wild to live in civilization outside of his training camps. Our goal is to capture a picture of the Volkanovski in his natural state, as this feat has never been accomplished. On this excursion, I brought with me lures to entice the Volkanovski: burgers, Vegemite, and if those fail, nudes of Jessica Rose Clark, something no Aussie could resist. We've been searching the Outback for days with no signs of him anywhere, but today, we think we finally found something. There is one surefire way to flush out the great Volkanovski. I believe I've heard him. Volkanovski has once again outsmarted us, only leaving behind an empty can of Foster's and a full can that was surprisingly cold for this being the Outback. But we are not discouraged, as our hunt for Volkanovski has only just begun. This is Johnny and Jose with TigerBomb MMA, and tonight we'll be going over UFC 276, Adesanya versus Cannonier, aka Volkanovski versus Holloway 3, because that's a much better fight. Giving you our thoughts, predictions, no parlays at this time. It is not for real. Like, I got to start fucking packing. I'm going to LA soon, so it's going to be a bada bing, bada boom, we're done. Also, I'm watching Bellator on my right and PFL on my left, and Goltsov is whipping the shit out of Maurice Green, which we're good so far with the parlay, but let's get started. Also, disclaimer, there should have been a fucking intro that I worked hard on. It better be in there. I swear to God, if it's not in there, I'm going to beat my own ass. But let's get started with the first fight of the night. This is at ladies' weight, which is bantamweight. Funny enough, Jessica Rose Clark versus Jalija Storlienko. Funny enough, because Jesse Jess is mentioned in the intro. But currently, odds are in favor of Jessica Rose Clark, minus 125. Come back on Storlienko, plus 100. It's a woman's fight. You know, Jessica Rose Clark, she really fucked up her last fight. She did the idiotic thing of playing footsie with Stephanie Eggers, the judoka, who obviously, like, why would you want to literally grapple with a judoka? So if you put herself in that armbar, so it's like, as much as I like Jessica Rose Clark, it's like, why would you do that? Storlienko, she's got a pretty decent armbar herself. If Jessica Rose Clark keeps it standing, she should win this one. But, big but, Storlienko needs a win in the UFC. I predict her to be more aggressive, honestly, better than ever. But again, women's MMA, you can't trust either girl. Value obviously is in Storlienko, but you have to go with Jessica Rose Clark, because although she messed up her last fight, she is still the much better fighter. She's more well-rounded, much stronger, fat ass. Jessica Rose Clark for me. Decision, of course.
Yeah, I'm going with decision. Jessica Rose Clark. This is her fight to lose. Even if she takes it to the ground, if she's stupid enough to try to, well, it says here that she's from 10th Planet Vegas. So if she's stupid enough to listen to Eddie Bravo and be like, "Yeah, man, you can roll with her," then that's on her. But if she's, hopefully has a few brain cells left, from lack of oxygen from being choked, as in choke me daddy. Yeah, she'll keep it on the feet. She won't try to roll with her, and should be a fairly straightforward and boring decision. So that's it.
All right, moving on. Middleweight bout. The return of Brad Tavares versus Stelnox Dricus Duplessis. Currently, wow, I hate seeing the odds for the first time. Brad Tavares minus 125 comeback on Duplessis is a plus 105. I'm still flabbergasted that Duplessis is winning in the UFC. He looks so fucking terrible, right? Yeah, good for him that he's winning fights, right? He's not a terrible fighter, right? He's very, very good. He hits fucking hard. It's very flabbergasting that he looks like a robot out there with like no oil, literally like the fucking Tin Man, like oil can me, and he ends up knocking dudes out. And I'm like, Jesus, all right, whatever. So for me, Brad Tavares, I think I don't want to say he's the best fighter that Duplessis has fought. It's clearly not. It's just at the very moment he is the best fighter, more well-rounded in the UFC that he's fought. Marcus Perez, I thought he was going to beat him. He was beating him. Gets hit in the head. Trevin Giles, I thought he was going to beat him. Duplessis, that is. He showboats a little bit, gets knocked the fuck out. Brad Tavares, I think he's just too good to lose to a guy like Duplessis. Duplessis, of course, can knock anyone out. His ground game's not terrible, but Tavares for me is the play. It's more so I'm going to fade Duplessis until he loses, and I really do think Brad Tavares is the guy. He's very good. He can stuff takedowns if it gets to the ground, and I just think he's a much not better striker because I think Duplessis has that X factor of that ridiculous, like out of nowhere knockout power, like that African knockout power. But Tavares, I think he's going to be too slick, and it sucks that he got knocked out by that fucking scrub of Edmund Shabazian. But scrub that out of your memory. I think Brad Tavares wins this one by decision.
Yeah, I got Brad Tavares here. Even though Dricus Duplessis is a South African, man, who's that guy? Who's that other kind of robotic, mechanical guy? He just fought. He used to be a meth addict and a Mormon or some shit. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Crusher Court McGee.
Yes, he's like a South African Court McGee, with a slightly better haircut. Yeah, but
I gotta say, dude, like from what I've seen on the internet, Dricus Duplessis fucks, so I'll give him that.
yeah, pretty sure he can bang, bang the W's with the best of them. And I mean, when he first came in with, I remember specifically with the Marcus Perez fight, I was, yeah, I mean, I can probably go back to the video. Not that anybody cares or even would, but I was with Dricus Duplessis. I don't recall if I was with him with Trevin Giles, but here I think it's Brad Tavares. I think he's just gonna outclass him and get the decision, unless he fucks around. Then he's probably gonna eat shit. But this is Brad Tavares' fight to lose by decision. Nothing spectacular. Um, you by decision. That's it.
Moving on, Jessica I versus Macy Barber at flyweight. Jessica I absolutely needs a win. She's on a 3-fight losing streak. Macy Barber snapped her 2-fight losing streak. Now she's on a 2-fight winning streak. And the odds have it minus 220 for Macy Barber. Come back on Jessica I as a plus 180. Now, frankly, let's look at the losses for Jessica I in her losing streak. Cynthia Calvillo looking like a really bad loss now. Joanne Wood looking like a really bad loss even so now. And then Jennifer Maia, that's probably the best loss on that 3-fight losing streak. Macy Barber, we know where she's at. She's a very strong girl. She's very aggressive, but to me, she's technically flawed. I don't trust her at those odds at minus 220. I do think she is the rightful favorite, right? Obviously, Jessica I has not been performing as she should. She's 35 years old. She's never really been a type of girl to like wow people. Like you can pick her in certain spots. Like when she first dropped down to flyweight, she was surprising a lot of people. Like she should not be winning. I do not see her winning this one. I think it is a very winnable fight for her. This is literally the lowest skilled fighter she's fought in a long time. But Macy Barber, she does have the power. She has the will. And to me, like the best way I can describe it, and I don't want to really shit on Macy Barber, but she's so fucking dumb that she doesn't know that she's losing. So like she puts herself in really bad situations. Like she can bum rush you. I don't necessarily like her skill set, but I just think she's got that weird X factor of like, I'm not losing. Like she just does what she needs to do to win. Jessica I, she has to stay on the outside, box her up. I got to go with Barber, but I might take a shot on Jessica I. Just it's probably going to balloon up to like over plus 200. I'll take a shot on I. Barber, she is what she is, but she should be the rightful favorite. I got her by decision.
I think what you meant to say is that Barber's from Wisconsin. So
No, don't shit on the Wisconsin people like that.
yeah, oh, Milwaukee specifically. I mean, they got a cool logo for a baseball team, but yeah.
You know what,
I'm,
dude? I met the nicest fucking guy in Milwaukee. Gave me a ton of Mercedes parts for my old Mercedes, and I'm like literally, like, how much you want to give me for him? I'm like, I don't know what, like, I don't like. You fucking flabbergasted me. And then he's like, how about this? Give me $20. I'll give you all these parts. I'm like, dude, you're giving me like $3,000 worth of parts. I'm like, okay. I will never shit Milwaukee. I'll say that, or Wisconsin.
okay. Well, you know what I mean. I was just equating it to Ohio, but anyway,
You said Ohio.
yeah, I was just kind of
Ohio
trying to
sucks.
make.
All people from Ohio suck.
I was just trying to make that joke, and people from Ohio was like, "Yeah, she's from Wisconsin." Yeah, this is Macy's fight to lose. She's she should technically out grapple, and this should be a boring ass Macy Barber fight. But it's Jessica I. Jessica I. I think is like a version of like Raquel Pennington if Raquel Pennington didn't really train, you know. If Raquel Pennington hadn't bothered training in years, that's Jessica I. Her style, I should say. Very basic, not like Instagram, like, oh, let me take a Facebook, let me take a selfie everywhere and all the food I eat, basic.
Yeah.
I'm talking about MMA basic, which is jab, cross, doesn't really kick, doesn't really transition into takedowns, grappling, no grappling, whatever. So this is Macy Barber. Yeah, so to your point, Macy Barber. Uh, assuming she doesn't get a big head out there or starts fucking around, she should easily win this fight because Jessica I, she's on her way to what is that, BKFC or even KFC? Who the fuck knows what her trajectory is?
That's funny. All right.
But yeah, I'm going Macy Barber decision here. I don't think she's knocking her out or decisioning
No.
Jessica I. And all for all intents and purposes, I should say, yeah, I used to think Jessica I was pretty hot. But then again, I think those were the years where I didn't have medical coverage or, where I didn't upgrade my eyewear for several years. But that's neither here nor there. Moving on.
Yep, moving on, middleweight bout. Fascinating bout. Uriah Hall versus Andre Muniz. Muniz is a pretty moderate favorite, minus 240. Comeback on Hall is a plus 200. And interesting, obviously, right? Muniz has been taking people's arms. He's like the male Ronda Rousey, but he's actually competent. And this one's interesting because I'm torn, right? Like, I know Uriah Hall can win this fight. I absolutely know he can. It's a very not I don't want to say winnable. It's a very good stylistic matchup for him if he keeps it on the feet and he fucks up Andre Muniz on the feet, because Muniz, he's not a terrible striker, but obviously if he takes your back or he gets you on the ground, he's gonna attack, right? He's gonna fucking take something away from you, whether it be your leg or your neck or your kneecap, whatever. But damn, I get this nasty feeling that Uriah Hall is gonna shock the world, really. Like, for the MMA fans that know Andre Muniz and know where he's at and know how dangerous he is, it's like, shit. It's almost like it's too obvious that he's going to win, that Andre it's going to win, that is that Uriah Hall is going to fucking knock him out. And the thing about Uriah Hall, he's so damn talented, but if he pulls the trigger, if he ever pulls the trigger to 100%, the dude is a scary guy, right? He's fucking terrifying. But he's 37 years old, and to me, it's almost felt like he's been on like a fluky streak. Like, he was losing to fucking Silva, and then Silva gets knocked out by like a very late punch in I believe the third round, and he gets finished in the fourth. I think. And then Chris Weidman, he Silva'd Weidman. It's just, I don't know if I feel comfortable with Uriah Hall. It's worth a shot taking him at plus 200, probably even more than that. But for me, Muniz, I think he's too damn good on the ground. I think he's going to eventually just capitalize on Uriah Hall's inability to pull the trigger. But again, really, really worth the shot taking on Uriah Hall. But for me, Andre Muniz, I'm going to say, why do I have second round TKO? I'm going to go with first round armbar. I think he's going to continue that streak. it's going to be rough, right? Maybe don't bet Andre Muniz on any of your parlays. I'm not confident in him to actually beat Uriah Hall as easily as most people expect him to. Uriah Hall, he can surprise people. I've talked about this too much. Muniz second round submission, but I will officially be placing a bet on Uriah Hall. Like a fuck it, why not bet?
This is one of those fights where if Andre doesn't get the submission in the first round, I think Uriah Hall is going to light him up.
Yeah.
Not like a Christmas tree, more like I would say, you're putting up a Christmas tree in July. You kind of put it up and a few lights, but nothing too obvious to make the neighbors think like, what the fuck are they doing? So I'm actually going with Uriah Hall here. I don't know if you'll be able to knock him out because I think Andre is going to be too, what's the word? Too penguin-like. He's going to waddle side to side and try to get it to the ground, try to get Uriah to the ground and get that arm bar. So I think he's going to be a little bit elusive.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Uriah is going to be able to avoid it in the first round because I think he's going to come out strong in the first round and try to get that shit because he knows Uriah Hall. He has that knockout power. But I don't think he'll be able to get it. I think Uriah will survive. And then in the second, third round, he's going to, take that shit to Uriah Hall, prime time level.
That's what I do fear. Like when Uriah Hall fires on all cylinders, he's like, oh shit. Like,
yeah.
It's like, oh my god, he's back. He finally is living up to the potential. Then he loses to I don't know, who's a pretty whack middleweight. They bring back Darren Stewart, and he fucking gets knocked out by Darren Stewart. Yeah. But yeah,
I mean, he's lost to, pretty good middleweights and Paulo Costa.
So. Hey man, I love no Paulo Costa shit talk on this channel, bro.
Hey man, but I mean, Andre Muniz, he's one of these specialists until he comes up with a guy who can defend and beat your ass. So I think he's going to hit that wall right now. And then he's probably going to have to, realize he needs to add more to his arsenal and not just, be a one trick pony. Because once once these guys, find somebody that can defend that shit, it's devastating to them. So I think this is it for him. So I'm going with Uriah Hall by fucking decision.
Dude, I just had like the worst fucking thought. I'm like, I don't think I set the settings for my microphone. So I was like, son of a bitch, am I going to have to record this shit all over again? But luckily, I'm not that fucking stupid. But let's move on. We've got a short notice bout, Donald Cerrone versus Jim Miller 2, Cowboy versus A10. And the odds currently are not out, at least yet. I really don't know where these odds are going to be, right? More than likely, we're going to have Jim Miller as a favorite because he's actually winning fights opposed to Donald Cerrone. I can't disclose much, but a little birdie told me on the Discord that Cerrone's not all there, and this is going to be at welterweight, so he's not having to cut. I know Dana White said he doesn't want to cut weight to 30 or 55, my ass, because he, the whole shit with Joe Lozon. I am going to take Jim Miller by first round knockout. Let's just say Jim Miller, like he is what I expected Cowboy to be in the later years of his career, but actually, you know what I mean? Like he's a tough guy. He's going to beat some like low level dudes, but he's just not been doing that, right? Like he's losing to like Alex Morono, getting TKO'd by Alex Morono. Dude, like if this was like shit, even 3 years ago, right? He would have fucking mopped the floor with Alex Morono. And I know Alex isn't a bad fighter, right? But it's just, come on, dude. Like, what the fuck? Like, he's just not the same Cowboy. But yeah, Jim Miller's probably going to knock him the fuck out. He's going to get it revenge. I'm going first round knockout, Jim Miller.
I'm actually going with Jim Miller, second round rear naked choke. I think they'll get past the first. I think he'll fuck him up in the first round, and in the second round, he'll get him back down, take his back, and then rear naked choke his ass. Yeah, I would say I don't know. We can all speculate, but nobody really knows what the fuck is going on outside of the octagon for that guy. He's got a lot of shit going on. I'm pretty sure he's got he's distracted with his family. He's got his ranch. He's training guys, and who knows what the fuck But I'm pretty sure I could tell his head's not all there. But anyway, yeah.
Moving on, this fight's not happening, but I'll break it down anyways. Ian Gary versus Gabe Green. For me, despite the fact that Gabe Green would be at a disadvantage with height and slightly with reach, I would have taken Gabe Green. I mean, the fade train is coming for Ian Gary, and it's when you least expect it. I mean, if you were a guy coming in and you hear the hype about Ian, the future Gary, the guy who married a fucking 47-year-old girl who's super fucking smoking hot, and he's only 24 years old, you'd be like, oh, that's I heard of this guy. He's Irish. He's the next blonde Connor. And who the fuck is gifted Gabe Green, Triple G? And you're like, whatever. And then Gabe Green fucking wrecks him. He fucking puts a pace on him. From my knowledge, it's not happening. I would have taken Gabe Green. Gabe Green, was a plus 125. Ian Gary is a minus 150. It's not to say Gary's not a good fighter, right? Like he's getting better, and there's going to be a certain plateau where we're like, I'm going to fade him. Like I know he sucks, and then he just blasts through that plateau, and it's like, shit, when did he learn how to fucking submit guys from his back? But I really thought this would have been the spot to actually take a shot against him. But yeah, my pick would have been Gabe Green by decision, but unfortunately, it's not happening.
Yeah, he's training at Sanford MMA, so that's not.
Dude.
He's
training with some good people, and I've seen like little things about his like Instagram that give me hope about the future for this guy. But again, it's a slow process, and you got to fade him while you can, right? But yeah,
well, I'm pretty sure in the future he'll have a bright future if he finds a good gym to train at.
Shit anyway. Talking Sanford. All right, let's move on. Next bout at welterweight. Funny enough, Robbie Lawler. Huh?
Case in point.
Robbie Lawler, Sanford MMA.
Yeah.
Robbie Lawler is in a prelim for the UFC against Bryan Barbarina. Now, wait a minute. Is this the? Yeah, it's still the prelims. Yeah, I thought they would have been the main event of the prelims. That would have made sense, but fuck it. It's a stacked card. Robbie Lawler versus Bryan Barbarina. Barbarina plus 100. Robbie Lawler is a minus 120. I love Barbarina, right? Like, I absolutely love the guy. Like, I picked him to beat Matt Brown. I made money on him split decision Matt Brown. But Robbie Lawler, he's just too good, I suppose. Like, he's not the same Robbie Lawler as years ago, right? Like, that guy was a fucking killer. Fifth round Lawler was a monster. Bryan Barbarina is tough as shit, but he's fighting a much more technical, much more well-rounded striker, and this is going to be on the feet. I would even give Robbie Lawler the wrestling advantage on this one. I think it's just like too obvious for me not to go with Robbie Lawler on this one. He's not going to finish Barbarina. He's too damn tough. He's really tough. I think it's going to be a crazy brawl between these two. If anything, I think Robbie Lawler gets knocked out between the two. I just don't see Robbie Lawler getting into any sort of weird firefight with Bryan Bam Bam Barbarina. If it happens, then, fantastic. It's great to see. Unfortunate for Lawler getting knocked out, but I think Robbie Lawler is going to be too technical. He did mention in an interview that did kind of make me like suspect is that when he was told, hey, you're fighting Nick Diaz again, he's like, oh, I got motivated to fight again. I'm like, motherfucker, you're in the UFC still. You should always be fucking motivated. Will he be motivated against Bryan Barbarina? I can't say that I expect him to. I really don't know. But if he still performs to a certain fraction of his ability, I think he's still the much better fighter than Bam Bam. But again, Bam Bam has that certain X factor, which is the fucking toughness. He is so goddamn tough. And he finds a way, right? He found a way to beat the better fighter that was Matt Brown. But again, Matt Brown was just too old. Like, Bam Bam's 33, fucking Robbie's 40. I just think Robbie's more better conditioned. I mean, if he comes into the fucking scale looking a little pudgy, I'm going with Bam Bam all day. But at the very moment, picturing Robbie Lawler rip this shit, Robbie Lawler decisions, Bam Bam.
I'm actually going with Bam Bam here, and I'm going to take Bam Bam by knockout in the second. Robbie Lawler versus Nick Diaz. That was Nick Diaz. That would be like if I weighed in for Nick Diaz, and I got zero training, and Nick Diaz didn't look like like the Nick Diaz when he was fighting. He just
he looked like shit, dude. He looked terrible.
I don't know what the fuck. I don't know what the fuck to say there. And to say Robbie Lawler beat him, it's like, yeah, he trained a little. It's not like he was a fucking, it's not like he lit him up or some shit. He just outlasted him a bit. But I wouldn't put that, I wouldn't, No, I'm taking Barbarina, man. I'm taking by KO. Yeah, Sanford MMA, man. Fuck that shit, man. Shit.
What do you have against Sanford?
Let me see. Sanford, who trains there? Yeah, I think Henry Hooft is overrated. That guy, Greg Jones, wrestling coach, dog shit. Um, yeah. I mean, I'm not. I wouldn't say I have anything against him, but I'm not a fan of Chandler. I'm a big Blonde Brunson fan. They trained Rory Red King. I don't. That shit doesn't make sense. They got Luca in there. Oh yeah, Burns, man, dude, fucking overrated. I hate that guy.
Let's
We got
move
Mike
on before we get destroyed in the comment
Johnson.
section.
Yeah, fuck a lot of these guys, except for Blonde Brunson. Maybe that guy's still chill.
Our next bout, lightweight bout, Brad Riddell versus Jalen Turner. Currently, the odds have
Oh
it in
yeah,
favor of Jalen Turner minus 120. Come back on Riddell plus 100. This one's really fucking tough for me. Like, it's obvious, right? Jalen Turner's on a fucking murder streak right now. Literally just killed another Aussie in Jamie Malarkey, a guy that Brad Riddell couldn't finish, and Brad Riddell should be the better striker. And Brad Riddell just got knocked out by Fiziev 6 months ago by a spinning heel kick. And it's like, ooh, this one's really damn tough because Riddell,
not
I
really.
like, I think it's tough, dude. I really do. I know Riddell's a lot shorter. He's 5'7".
Dude,
Jalen
8
Turner's
inches.
6'3". There's a huge reach disadvantage, but if you think about it, who does Brad Riddell train with? Mama Bird, Israel Adesanya. So I'm assuming they got their rounds in, and I'm gonna, with these dudes, I get a feeling there's gonna be a better game plan. Like, it's a little, again, too obvious that Jalen Turner's gonna win, and because of that, I'm gonna go with Jalen Turner. I actually think he is going to submit Brad Riddell. I think in on the feet it might get a little hairy. I just see Jalen Turner catching. I'm watching fucking PFL and I'm like, better not fucking lose, Bubba Jenkins. I think Jalen Turner eventually catches Brad Riddell into submission. I think it's going to be a little too like hectic on the feet for a little bit. Brad Riddell, as I mentioned, he trains with Israel Adesanya, very very similar to Jalen Turner in every single possible way. It's just like I get that, like, oh shit, like Brad Riddell, like, when you're watching a fight and it seems like, oh well, no shit, the much taller, more athletic, more black guy is winning the fight, obviously, and then you see the fight, and
Yeah,
the short dude is like, holy shit, he's landing overhand rights and he's throwing leg kicks and he's ducking and dodging. I'm like, what the fuck? Then you make the connection, like, he must have been fucking putting in a shit ton of rounds with Izzy, being the much better fucking fighter than Jalen, and Jalen's a really good fighter. But yeah, I just think it is Jalen Turner's time right now, and Brad Riddell just getting knocked out. I think Jalen's going to find something straight, hurt Brad, either take the back or just snatch up a neck with those long fucking arms. It to me, it really is a tough fight. I might just go with Jalen Turner straight. I won't put him on a parlay, but I do have Jalen Turner by submission second round.
well, here's the reason why I'm taking Jalen Turner. Jalen Turner is only a little blacker than Brad Riddell. I mean, Brad's a pretty black himself. Um, but Jalen trains at Ruka, man. He trains with what's that guy's name? Shit, um, the head trainer. For Bisping, for
Jason Perillo.
Jason Perillo. Yes. So he's got hands, man. It's not just his height or his reach. I mean, it will literally be it's like a fifth grader, against a high schooler. Um, yeah, Brad has. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Brad, is training with Israel, but Brad himself isn't Israel. I don't think he can overcome a lot, but not this dude. At 5'7", he's short for that division anyway. But I mean, I was like, holy shit! I actually remember Jalen Turner being a welterweight or even a middleweight.
He did
That's
come
not,
into the UFC as a welterweight. He fought Luke
yeah.
and he got knocked the fuck out.
So unless Jalen Turner turns into shit, who's the giant European guy in the heavyweight division?
Stefan Struve.
Stefan Struve, yes.
Well, I
Unless
guess
he
in this
turns
case
into
it'll be
the lightweight.
Volkov now. Struve is retired. I think he's
Oh
actually
no,
a MMA media personality now in, like, wherever the fuck he's from, Netherlands.
yeah. I mean, unless Jalen, turns into the black Stefan Struve for the lightweight division. Yeah, this is his fight to lose. I'll take him by knockout in the second round. I think it's going to be too much for Riddell to overcome. He'll live to fight another day, but at 2 losses, out or after this fight, I should say, he's going to be at 2 losses. He's going to have to kick that shit into another gear. Like really, get more out of City Kickboxing, Tiger Muay Thai, or just go elsewhere. I don't know what his options are, but going with Jalen.
Cool. Before we break down main card, like, share, subscribe as always. Give us some love. But first fight of the night for the main card: Pedro the Punisher Munoz, young Punisher, versus Sugar Sean O'Malley. O'Malley minus 240. Comeback on Munoz is a plus 200. Frankly, I got Munoz to win this one by submission, possibly even a knockout. Like, it's just too fucking good not to take the shot on Pedro Munoz. He's going to throw really hard leg kicks. He's got a really good chin. Then again, we know what O'Malley brings to the table, right? He's super fucking slick on the feet. Like, shit on the guy all you want. The guy is really fucking sweet on the feet. And yeah, he can definitely knock out Munoz. I can see it happening. To say that he's not going to or he can't, it's fucking ridiculous. Pedro Munoz, though, he's too fucking smart of a veteran, right? He's 35 years old. He's going to have to attack the leg kicks. He's going to go for submissions. He's a much better grappler. He's just going to have to be very weary of Sean O'Malley on the feet, his movement, his length. And if he times leg kicks very, very well, if he fucking times a double leg, takes him down, I see him submitting and dangling off the fucking neck of Sean O'Malley. To be safe, I will go second round submission, Pedro Munoz. I might go with Munoz straight at those odds just because. And because, yeah, you never know. Fucking O'Malley gets kicked on the leg just right, and then he fucking, stretch it out once more. But I'll go with Pedro Munoz on this one. Like, I don't necessarily doubt O'Malley. I think he's definitely the favorite for a reason. To me, though, Pedro Munoz is just too damn good of a juicy underdog veteran play with nasty leg kicks to pass up. So I'll go with Munoz second round sub.
Yeah, I'm going with O'Malley here. Not just because he's a favorite betting wise. I think it's a little steep. But just because I'm not confident in Munoz. Munoz has that. Let me see. Of his last 5 fights, he should have beat Sterling for sure. He should have. I specifically remember this fucking fight. He should have beat Frankie. As much as I love Frankie, he should have won that fight. He should have beat Aldo, and for sure he should have beat Dominic Cruz. Now Sean O'Malley, he's like a taller, skinnier Dominic Cruz to a certain extent. And yeah, dude, if Pedro couldn't get past Dominic Cruz, I don't see him getting past Sean O'Malley, who's like a younger, faster, better, has better boxing, better striking than Dominic Cruz, who's actually who I just saw an advertisement for. Apparently, he's fighting whoever, but
Marlon Vera.
Yeah, that.
Oh boy.
But I see O'Malley here getting the knockout in the second round, maybe the third round, because Munoz is fairly durable. But I think O'Malley's going to get the finish here, probably in the second round. So I'm going O'Malley, second round finish by TKO.
Moving on, we've got Misha Tate versus Lauren Murphy at flyweight. This one, it's essentially a mirror matchup to me. Like, they both fight very similarly. I think Lauren Murphy's much grittier than Misha Tate. Misha Tate's obviously moving down to flyweight. I am very curious to see if she makes weight, because she's got 2 fucking things holding her down, and I think we both know what those are. Those mummy milkers, if you fuck. I felt nasty saying that, but Tate is the favorite, minus 165. Come back on lucky Lauren Murphy, who I've met personally and unfortunately insulted to her face, which I do kind of feel bad about. She's a plus 145. Oh boy, this one, it's Misha Tate's fight to lose, really. Like, Misha Tate's a much better fighter between the two. I keep looking because fucking Bubba Jenkins better not fucking lose to this pink-haired fucking Brazilian dude.
Well, you can clearly say that you've met both of them, and
yeah, you're right. I have met both of them. I met
you know,
Misha before she got,
when she was young.
braggers, when she was younger and cuter, and then
Yeah.
oh, dude, I was so fucking nervous. I was like, "Hey, when you beat Marlos Kunin, how did it feel like?" And she was literally saying, "Oh my god, can I take a picture with you?" And she was like, "Sure." Dude, I was like starstruck. I was like, what, 20 something? I was like, "Oh my god, hey Misha." But
But can you
yeah,
honestly say in person that like Misha's pheromones were stronger than Lauren's? Come on. Really?
for Lauren, I was just like, "It was good, Lauren Murphy. What it do?" And then she was like, "Oh, hi, nice." She was much nicer to me than I was to her. I'll say that she was a nice woman. Lauren Murphy. She didn't deserve what I fucking accidentally did to her, which was like, if you don't know, I mentioned it. I was like, "Oh, hey, when are you fighting Shevchenko?" And then she's like, "Well, actually, I have a fight booked already against what's her fucking face, Joanna Wood." And I'm like, "Huh, when was that announced?" I'm like, like months ago. I'm like, "Oh, I suppose." I'm just like, "Oh shit, sorry," Basically like me saying no one gives a shit about your fight.
Yeah.
But whatever. Anyways, Misha Tate by decision. It's gonna be a fucking whatever. This should not be on the main card, but Misha Tate by decision. Mama Tate by decision.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going with Misha too. Not looking forward to that weight cut of hers. At 25, I probably would, but now not so much. I would say the sexier fight on this card is the Jessica I fight. At this point.
I disagree. The next one is going to be the sexiest fight on the card
Um,
because
well, the next one, no, dude, the next one's going to be shit. Sean Strickland, Alex Pereira could easily have been a fight night main event. That's
it's like a
crazy.
fucking like, oh yeah, baby. I cannot wait for that fight, dude.
Yeah, this is crazy, dude.
Holy
Sean
shit.
Strickland. Holy fuck. Yeah, this is going to be crazy, man.
It's crazy that I'm looking at the records 5-1 for Alex Pereira. He's a minus 120 favorite compared to the 25-3 Sean Strickland. And it's
Really,
like,
I see Strickland as like a younger, two-eyed Bisping at this point.
yeah, people call him that because of the shaved head and Bisming in the early UFC. But yeah, it's such a crazy fight because I know a lot of people are underestimating Sean Strickland, and there's going to be those dude. There's like, here's the shit, dude. There's a lot of smooth brain motherfuckers out there like, oh, Sean Strickland's a brown belt, and jiu-jitsu's going to take him down. Like, Alex Pereira ain't fucking getting taken down and submitted by Sean Strickland. I just do not see that happening. Sean Strickland, number one, he's a fucking maniac. He's literally like, he's gonna get off on getting punched in the face by Pereira. And Pereira, like, if you don't know, you should fucking find out about this guy because the dude's left hook is fucking magical. Like, he doesn't even throw it from a long distance. It's just like a really short clip and you're out cold. The dude, that left hook of his, left hook parry is what I call this fucking guy. He's fantastic. And you can clearly, it's obvious, clear as fucking day. If he wins this fight, he's fighting Adesanya next. Or Cannonier, if Cannonier wins, I should say. Sean Strickland, it's going to be a hell of a fight. Can Sean Strickland win this one? The odds say yes, he fucking can. The guy's very good. He can win a fight with just a jab, a 3-round fight. He's probably going to have the better cardio, but dear God, he's going to have to walk through fire in Alex Pereira. My thing with Sean Strickland, as much as I love Sean, right? I do. I'm a big fan of Sean. He's from Corona, California. That's where I'm fucking going this Saturday. I might even fucking stop by and like try to spar with him, and he beats the shit out of me. God damn it! I was gonna say something, but I'd rather not. He can definitely win this fight. I was gonna say he's gonna like jerk off on me after he fucking finishes beating my ass. He's that kind of guy. But Pereira, for me, like, I just cannot physically pick against him. Like, I have to go with Pereira. Like, I just am incapable of not picking Pereira because he's so good. He's obviously training with the former fucking UFC champ in Glover, and Glover has really taught the boy, right? And I really do feel like those two together are the Brazilian Smash brothers because they have taught each other the grappling and the striking and vice versa. But to me, obviously, Pereira is just a much better, I was going to say he's just a much rock harder guy, right? Like, as we've seen, he hits much harder. Sean Strickland's been knocked out himself. I hate to say it, Sean has a bit of the pillow fists. if Sean goes in there with that suicidal mentality of like, I'm going to fucking strike with him because that's who Sean is. Like, God bless him. That's who he is. I think he's going to get knocked out in the second round, and it's going to suck. I really hope it doesn't happen that way, but I do have Pereira to knock out Sean Strickland in the second round. He's going to hit him with that left hook, and it's going to literally come from nowhere. Like, he's just going to throw it like very short, and it's going to really hurt Sean. And I think he finishes him on the ground with strikes. So I've got Pereira second round knockout. I really hope it's a fucking ridiculous back and forth banger, because that way Pereira earns his title shot against a guy who was on a huge winning streak. It just flows better opposed to like Pereira just knocking him out. But I am so damn excited for this fight.
Yeah, as far as Pereira, man, his coaches when right before the first round bell rings, as they're closing the cage, the only motivation this guy needs to go on, basically beat the living hell out of his opponent. His coaches are like, hey, this guy over there, he bought the new iPod. He's like, what? And then he's like, oh, he hasn't because he's a thug. He'll fucking steal your iPod. Okay, I guess that worked better in my brain. Okay, that didn't come out as planned. Just because his picture on Tapology is like him. It's like a fucking mugshot and shit. It's like, oh, this guy stole Sean Strickland's iPod, and he took his mugshot after he got caught. Anyway, he's a mean motherfucker.
Yeah.
But the reason, well, going back to my initial comment on Sean Strickland, being a younger Bisping, yeah, he kind of looks like him, like when Bisping was young. But I think we've seen this fight before, and the fight that we've seen before is Bisping Rockhold 2, right? Where Rockhold, UFC 199, best goddamn.
You were there, weren't you?
Yeah, that's the best goddamn pay-per-view top to bottom I've personally attended. I personally thought it was better than UFC 100 and UFC 200. Just the fights. Anyway, so the reason I say that is because, Alex Pereira, similar to Rockhold, great striking, right? Unlike Rockhold, who's a jiu-jitsu ace, and doesn't have a glass chin, Pereira, that is to say, Pereira has excellent striking, right? And sure, he's been working with Glover and such, but I don't think he's as well-rounded in MMA. I mean, he's just by sheer will beat the living shit out of his opponents thus far. But I think this is Strickland's fight to lose, to be honest, just because he's got, I think, more tools at his disposal. I'm hoping he's not afraid to use them, like, actually go for the takedown. Like, even if one fails, just kind of like, I think Khabib mentioned this in one of his interviews. It's like he's not a, oh shit, one takedown failed. It's like, he's not, does that mean he's going to stop trying? No, Khabib, when he was fighting, he would just keep trying takedown to takedown until he fucking got it, Would he eat some shots and eat shit a bit? Yeah, but once he got the guys to the ground, then he would. We all saw the results of that cross-eyed ginger, the Louisiana guy, the Irish guy, and they all got rear naked fucking choked. And so I think that's Strickland's best shot. I think Alex is going to come out hard and fast, like a porn star in the first round. He's going to try to pound him any which way. But if Sean survives that first round, I think in the second round he'll be able to, implement an actual MMA game plan. So yeah, I think it's that first round is going to be critical for both of them. So one thing I didn't check is how deep. These aren't all porn references, as in how deep Alex has gone, in his fights or whatever.
He's gone the distance in his last fight with Bruno. I always get them mixed up. Souza and Silva. This was Silva, yeah. Bruno Silva, the big Silva, big boy, Bruno Silva. That was a fantastic fight. I was so pissed that neither guy got knocked out because I had the inside the distance ticket, and burned me bad, but
So
dear
yeah,
God,
so there's that. So
what a
it's not
fight.
like, yeah, so it's not like Alex Pereira's, a fucking knockout machine. Um,
No, he is, dude. He
but
fucking is. He
well,
absolutely is. Just
well,
like
either way,
Bruno Silva's a bad motherfucker himself.
yeah, I'm giving Sean Strickland that underdog thing because it's a pretty close fight. It's not like Alex Pereira fucking is coming out of solitary in jail where he murdered these, or he's an actual murderer. Um, but I'm giving it to Sean Strickland right now just because I think Alex Pereira, yes, he's talented, but I think he's got a long way to go.
What are you doing with your mic right now?
Oh, I was just adjusting the
Oh, okay. Sounded
the button here.
whack.
I wasn't doing anything anything weird, anything off camera.
So you're going with Strickland?
I'm going with Strickland by decision.
All right. Let's move on. Co-main event of the evening. We've got Israel Adesanya versus Jared Cannonier. The odds are currently in favor of Israel Adesanya.
You're going with the
Minus
co-main?
365. Comeback on Jared Cannonier is a plus 280. Adesanya round number 3 knockout. I mean, Jared Cannonier, like, no shit, he can knock anyone out. He used to be a fucking heavyweight, but Adesanya is going to be too slick. This is like, does Adesanya, or not Adesanya, but does Cannonier deserve the title shot? Absolutely, he deserves it. He knocked out some dudes. He knocked out Blonde Brunson, and it's MMA math. Come on now, like, his last loss was Robert Whitaker, where Robert Whitaker styled on him like no other, right? And Adesanya, he's gonna style bend Jared Cannonier over, and then give him what he needs to give him. But yeah, for me, I'm going to say round number 3 knockout. This one's like, is he going to win? I absolutely do think he's going to win. Adding him to a parlay is no big deal, no brainer. The fun part is picking the round, and I do think round number 3 is where it's going to be. Round number 1, a little tentative. Round number 2, Jared Cannonier is a little frustrated. Round number 3, he's really frustrated, and Adesanya catches him with like a counter, maybe even a high kick, and then just finishes him. And Cannonier is not the most durable guy, and Adesanya is really hard to hit. It'll be an interesting. Can Cannonier win? Absolutely. Counting him out would be stupid. But to me, Adesanya is going to just style on Cannonier. So I got 3rd round knockout.
I'm actually going with Adesanya by decision here. I don't think he'll be able to knock out or submit Cannonier. I think Cannonier is going to be too tough, and short of, him, is it re-breaking or breaking his arm once again, like Whitaker did? Because Whitaker broke his arm, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, he broke his arm. Yeah, in like the 2nd round or something. I can't remember, but
so short of Adesanya breaking his arm or breaking his other arm or breaking his leg, I guess maybe breaking his leg, that would fuck up the fight. I don't see that happening. I see Cannonier toughing it out, eating those shots, eating shit for 5 rounds.
Yep.
And Adesanya just, putting on that Adesanya show, which is starting to get a little boring because he's not really finishing guys, like how he was doing. And one thing, I was looking at Cannonier and I was like, he knocked out Anderson Silva. I don't remember that shit.
He kicked him so fucking hard in the knee that Anderson Silva's leg buckled or whatever in Brazil, if I remember correctly.
Oh, okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, he kicks hard.
Yeah. I don't think he's gonna outkick. I mean, I'm pretty sure he kicks harder than Adesanya, but I don't think he'll outkick him, outstrike him, out anything him.
Yeah. I got to give you the wrap it up, dude. We got to hurry because I got to get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
So you got decision Adesanya. All right, main event of the evening, Alexander Volkanovski, the great Volkanovski versus Max Blessed Holloway 3. This one, it's fascinating, right? Like, the first 2 fights get him the fuck out of the window. This is a brand new matchup. Volkanovski's at his absolute best, and Holloway was at his absolute best, but he's kind of been dropped down a peg, so it makes it even more fascinating. The odds, not necessarily close, but they're closer than what I really would have expected. Minus 190 for Volkanovski, plus 160 for Max Holloway. And to keep it short, I really do think Max Holloway has a chance to beat Volkanovski. The second fight, I know I said throw it out the window, but we fucking have to reference it. He did hurt him, and then Volkanovski found a way to win. I do think Alexander he's gonna have the right game plan. Max Holloway, he's so fucking good. He's getting better. I just don't see him beating Volkanovski. I just see that Volkanovski has his number. I think Volkanovski's just so fucking good right now. He's so fucking good. He's getting better. Like, he keeps goddamn surprising me. Like, he's so fucking tough. Pisses me off how good he is. And would I be surprised if Holloway fucking knocks him out? No, like, shit happens, but I just know the progress that I've seen personally from Volkanovski, where I was doubting this fucking guy of like, I don't know if he's the real champ. Motherfucker is the real champ. And then Holloway had his chance. Honestly, I'd love for Holloway to move up and fight Tony Ferguson, like as his retirement fight against Tony. I know it's going to be a tough fight for Tony, but hell of a fucking fight. Really great way to go. The mirror matchup between those two guys. But yeah, I'll go with Alexander Volkanovski by decision. I think he's going to be firing on all cylinders. He's getting so much better. Again, Holloway, I respect the shit out of Holloway, but I think his time at featherweight's done. Move up to lightweight. You know what? Like, at that point, your big brother Dustin Poirier won't be there to fuck you up, so you can run through the division if you want up until a certain point. But yeah, Volkanovski decision, putting him on a parlay.
Yeah, I'm going with Volkanovski here as well. I think right now we're seeing Volkanovski in his prime. I don't think Holloway has what it takes to beat him. I think the guy who actually will beat Volkanovski is Josh Emmett.
Get the fuck out of here.
I think Josh Emmett, they're going to match him up against T-City for like the next title shot. He's going to knock out T-City, and then he's going to come in and just hammer fist Volkanovski in the face to victory. There you go. I've called it on 6/24/22. There you have it.
Well, those have been our predictions for UFC 276. Again, make sure you like, share, subscribe. Filming this Friday before Oberg fights, so hopefully Oberg gets fucked real bad, because as always, fuck Oberg.